late, I won't wake up this time. I won't wake up this time.
Hi everyone, welcome to the second episode of the Shape of My Heart Knitting podcast. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I'm glad you're here. And if you're a new viewer, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for joining me today to talk a little bit about my knitting. I hope you enjoy. So, if you don't know me, I'm Flaminia. I'm an Italian knitter and I'm in university, and I really love to knit in my free time. That's everything I do. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about everything that I have been making this month. So in this video we'll have a lot of finished objects, because in the last one we had a lot of whips, a lot of gift knits that I managed to finish. So yeah, we have many finished objects, 2 whips, and I'll talk to you a little bit about my knitting plans for the coming month, I guess, or the coming months. And I will talk to you a little bit about my special thing that I received for Christmas from my dad, because he gifted me an electric guitar. So I wanted to show you, because the name of this podcast is inspired by a song, The Shape of My Heart by Sting, and I really love to play guitar, so I wanted to share this with you. But I'll put it at the end, so if you're not interested, you can just skip. And we won't have many acquisitions, like we won't have any acquisitions, because I bought something before the previous episode. I ordered like 3 cones of woolly knits, British wool cones. It never arrived. I hope it's coming. I ordered it with Inga's from like the Knitting Traditions and Woolly Knit collaboration, and it never came, but I hope it will come soon. Maybe next episode, who knows. So enough rambling for now. Let's start with the finished objects. One I am wearing, and it is the Marseille Sweater by Petiteknit. And oh my god, I love it so much. So let me stand up a little bit so you can see better how it fits on me. There it is. I'm shocked on how well like the stripes on the body and on the sleeves match. Amazing. So I started it mid-October 2022, and I finished it on the 14th of December. That was the day before my last exam. Not my last, but one exam. And I used 12 skeins of Drops Extra Fine Merino in the main color. It was supposed to be like, it's called light beige, but looks very gray to me. I don't know about you, but it does to me. But in the light gray color, and then I used the color 02 black for the stripes. I used these 3 balls of the black. I'm in love with it. I'm in love. Like, I've never used before superwash yarn. I've used linen for olive merino that is not superwash merino, and oh my god, I kind of love this yarn. Like, this is supposed to be very oversized, and I was kind of worried because I had a problem with the gauge where the sweater is knitted flat, because it's like a drop shoulder, so the back yoke, then the front yoke, and then you join it around. But my gauge was really tight here. You might see that when I blocked it, I kind of stretched it, or that the gauge here, it's much smaller than here. Don't know if you can tell. but it was. And I was worried that the drop shoulder wasn't dropping enough. But it is, and the superwash helped because it grew a little bit, not a lot actually. It grew a little bit with blocking. Now it's perfect. Now I'm so happy with it. And I have baby sensitive skin, like I think I'm sensitive to wool, which is a little bit of a problem being a knitter. I thought it was alpaca, but I think it might be wool. I'm quite sensitive to wool, and this is totally non-scratchy, like, oh my god. And it's a dream to wear. I've worn it so much since I finished it. I think is replacing my Nordlund sweater as my favorite sweater I've knitted myself. Yeah, I think. But it has German short rows here on the sleeves to shape the sleeve cap, and it's the first time I did that. It also has short rows in the back to shape the yoke. You can see a little bit. And also I was worried because the short rows were a little bit holy, but I think it blocked out good. I think it looks good. The collar I love with this detailing, and I'm not very good at picking up stitches, and with this project, like, you pick up for the collar and for the sleeves, yeah, and for the shoulder in my case, because the pattern calls for a Judith Magic cast on, and I did a long tail cast on. And yeah, I became I don't know if I became really good, but I improved a lot on picking up stitches on the collar. I think it's very neat and I love it. And also it was very addicting to knit the stripes. I really enjoyed knit the stripes, but there were so many ends to weave in. I literally counted how many ends I had to weave in. Just let me check, because I noted on my phone. Okay, I weaved in 91 ends. It was a journey. I thought I would never make it, but we did. We did make it. And yeah, like, I'm wearing it next to skin and it's totally not scratchy. I know that superwash isn't the most environmentally friendly option, but I think would use it a lot. So I think I might purchase more of this yarn because I really did enjoy it. I started this project in mid-October and I finished it the 14th of December. So it took quite a lot for me, I think. Like, most of it was doing the short row shaping for the back and trying, like, the knitting flat part. I don't mind knitting flat, but it takes longer. So yeah, it took a little bit longer to finish the yoke, but then it was all smooth sailing. Like, the sleeves went by really fast. They have a little bit of tapering. It's spilling a lot. It's not spilling a lot. It's spilling a little bit, this yarn, but it's not that bad. And I really like the decreases because it doesn't use the slip knit. And like, my slip knit always looks so wonky. And I really like this method. Approved. Yeah, this was my first finished object. In love. So the second finished object I don't have with me because it was a gift knit for my boyfriend, and it was a sweater. I'll try to put pictures of him wearing it. Is the men's cable turtleneck by Vougue Knitting. It was part of their winter 2011 collection for men knitwear. Oh my god, I was so scared that it wasn't gonna fit, especially in the arms, because my boyfriend is a little bit more muscular in the arms, and they look so tiny, like oh my god. But all my worries went away when he tried on the jumper. It fitted amazingly, and I'm so happy he loves it, and I love it too. Like, to be honest, it wasn't my favorite to do because it's like there's seaming involved. There are setting sleeves. The sleeves are knitted flat and then sewn on the sides and then attached to the sweater, which was a little bit troublesome because, like, to match exactly the circumference of the arms with the circumference of the armholes, because I was scared the armholes were too tiny, so I kind of stretched it while blocking, and I stretched like the arms too, but they weren't as big, so I kind of had to bunch up a little bit the stitches on the shoulder to fit to match with the stitches on the sleeves. But in the end, it was alright. I made only one modification, that was in the body, in the sizing of the body, because I knitted the smallest size, and like my boyfriend likes very fitted sweater, even with negative ease, I guess. And it looked a little bit too big because you increase, like, it's knitted bottom up and you increase along the sides, but it looked too big, so I just didn't do as many increases as the pattern called for, and so like everything from the body to the shoulders were tighter, but it fits. I used drops Nepal. I used so many less skeins than what the pattern said. I used 15 and something skein balls. It is drops alpaca is a mix of wool and alpaca, majorly wool and then alpaca, and it's soft enough for him, I guess. He doesn't have as much as sensitive skin as I do, but I think that gift was a success and I'm very happy about it. It has a fold over 2x2 rib turtleneck. Thumbs up for me. Like, the pattern was really brief because it's kind of an old-ish pattern. It was, 2000. It was from 12 years ago. But yeah, it was really brief. Like, it doesn't tell you like row by row what to do, but you kind of have to follow the increases and at the same time follow the cable motif. And yeah, but I was pretty confident with it, and because I already did this type of cables, like these braided cables, in my Nordlund sweater, and so I knew I could do that. And also, one other modification that I did is that like the bottom edge ribbing has like rows of stockinette to make it curl, because it's knitted bottom up but without the ribbing, and then you pick it up afterwards. But yeah, I wasn't feeling the rolling. I mean, it was nice, but I thought that my boyfriend would enjoy the sweater more if it hadn't the rolling stockinette at the bottom. And also the bind off, because I always do Italian bind off because I usually do 1x1 ribbing, but this sweater has 2x2 ribbing and 2x1 ribbing, and I don't know, I hate so much tubular bind off for 2x2 ribbing. I don't know why. It just never comes out as I wish, so I just used a regular bind off but with a bigger needle, because you use 4.5 millimeters for the ribbings and 5.5 for the body, and I used the 5.5 to bind off the ribbings, and they are really stretchy, and I'm so happy of how it turned out. So it was a success for sure. Also for men's knitwear, I have a podcast recommendation which I'm so excited about, which is Irish Farm Art, the Irish knitting podcast that is led from Sam, that is an Italian knitter set in Ireland, in Dublin, and he is so acknowledged about grading for men and overall sweater shaping to fit a male body, and I just got so obsessed with his podcast. He's so nice. In general, it's a really good podcast, and he's so talented. Like, I just watched his Everything I Needed in 2022 video, and like he needed 18 sweaters, fingering weight sweaters with collar work, and I'm like, I don't know how he managed. And he does so many things. Like, he's a really great person overall, because he's a lawyer, he is graduated in piano, like, he's a knitter, he's a very prolific knitter, and he's doing a tech editing course. It's a very informational podcast. I really enjoyed watching it. And yeah, so I really recommend, if you're into, like, if you would like to knit something for a man in your family or for a loved one, or yeah, and if you're into getting to know more about modifications to make jumpers knitted and graded for a women like standard body, and to make it more suitable for men's body. Like, he knitted a sweater number 15 that was amazing, like it was fitting amazingly, and that's how I found him, actually, with this project video. But yeah, I really recommend, if you're into that. For inspiration, just go take a look at what he does. So my mom just got back from her trip for New Year's Eve, so I can show you her Christmas gift, because she was wearing it. I didn't have it with me, but this is the other finished object. That is this huge boy. It's the Marzipan Pullover by Sari Nordlund, and it took me probably or what it seems like, a month to get to the end of the cables on the yoke. Then I thought I was done with the yoke. I still had 8 centimeters to go to split for sleeves. Then I finally got there, and I knitted one sleeve, then a little bit of the body, and then I knitted in one day I knitted one full sleeve and 10 centimeters of the body somehow, I don't know. And it also has cables on the wrists, which are very beautiful. It's unblocked, so the cables are not standing out as they should, but I think it's very beautiful. My mom saw it as I was working on it, at like I told her the neck would like should have been sewn down to be, yeah, not a turtleneck but a crew neck. And then, but she doesn't really like double folded neckbands, and I don't know why, because I love it. But yeah, so she said like, let me try it and then we'll decide. But yeah, it definitely needs a good block because it can stretch out a lot. It's 2x2 ribbing, and oh my god, it was like the trickiest, it was the most complex cable work I ever did in my life. Oh my god, yeah, it was definitely a labor of love, because it's knitted with one strand of merino and one strand of brushed alpaca silk, but it is on a kind of tight gauge. I thought it was all on 4mm needles, that it's okay. But then I started with 3mm needles for the neck. Then it was 4 for the cables, and then all this massive fabric of ribbing was all on 3.5mm needles. That was kind of a tighter gauge, because I think like that the two together give a DK, like the merino and the brushed alpaca silk gives like a heavy DK. But yeah, oh my god, flaps, fibers. Okay, but yeah, definitely needs a block, but I love it. I'll try it on just to let you see how it fits on me. I'll put a picture of my mom wearing it, but so that you can see on 2 different bodies. So this is how it fits on me. Oh my gosh, it's really, really nice. And the alpaca is like non-scratchy at all. So I think I'm definitely sensitive to wool and not to alpaca. And this is the length. It's kind of just underneath my hip bones. Like my hip bones start here. So yeah, it's very, very warm. But yes, oh my god, I'm in love. I'm so jealous that it's for my mom. Also, I'm incredibly in love with the color. Yeah, even though it's this bright pink, I love it. It's so, so, so cute. Also, look at the wrists. So nice. Sari Nordlund writes beautiful, beautiful patterns for cables. I don't know if I'll have ever the strength to knit another one of these for me, but I would love to have one. I think I could borrow this because I live with my mom, so yeah, I just can sneakily get into her closet and take it for me. But yeah, I think I might do that because it's really complex. And yeah, I used the Italian bind off, as I said, because the cuffs are all in 1x1 ribbing. Needs a good block. And then we'll decide for the neck. Yeah, but maybe it's just nicer like this. Yeah, this is it. Just stand up again. Really love it. Yes. And I knitted it so fast. I managed to finish it just on the 24th of the night, on the evening of the 24th of December. So I started it on the 26th of November and finished it on the 24th of December. But of course, in the middle, I had my boyfriend gift knit that I started on the 22nd of November and finished on the 12th of December. So yeah, I somehow managed. It's a round yoke. as you can see, there were optional short rows for like just underneath, just as you split it for the body. I'm not sure what they are for, but they made the back longer, so I just did them because if they are there, I should probably do it because it will improve the fit. So the other finished objects are small, but I don't have them here because they're gifts. Again, I needed 2 hair bows for my friends at university. I needed a Augustins number 22 in this colored yarn, which I like a lot. It's a little bit more green than what is showing up on the camera, but yeah, really like it. It's kind of, I don't know what yarn it is. I just had it in stash. I don't have a huge stash. I had no stash, but basically 1 year ago or so, the mom of my mom's friend passed out, and she had like a lot of scraps and odd balls of yarn, and my mom's friend gently gifted it to me. And so it is kind of all unknown yarn with no tags and nothing, but yeah, this is probably like an acrylic mohair blend, probably. I think it is, maybe some wool, but yeah, I think it might be also like acrylic or some artificial fibers in it. So I needed an Augustins number 22. It is my second version because I've needed for me one in white. Then I needed for the other friend a December bow in a red color that it was this time my mom's leftover yarn, because when my brother was very young, my mom started for him, like for herself and also for him, because apparently my brother was very big for like his young age, a sweater with the United States flag. It is kind of a DK weight merino, and I just needed this December bow. That was so cute. Oh my god, I was still so tempted to keep it for me, but I thought I have another red yarn that I might use for that. But yeah, that is in LA with my friend. A modification that I did for the December bow is that I wasn't sure if I had enough yarn, so I just needed it like thinner and smaller. I just used proportion to do that. And what I also did was, oh yeah, like both bows are usually attached to like an hair elastic, but I never use hair elastics to like, because I think that bows are usually worn like in a half up, half down hairstyle, and I thought that just a hair clip would have been more handy. Okay, they're very sturdy, and they're made like this with these holes so that I could like thread the yarn through and basically sew the bow on top of the clip and just boom, make it work. I felt a true engineer for doing that. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's it for the finished objects. Then for the whips, I have a big whip and a small whip. The small whip is another December bow. I'm truly loving the combo of the I-cord with the squishiness of the garter stitch. It's really, really nice. It's looking a bit wonky and the yarn a little bit noodly and wavy because this yarn, like this, was actually my first Augustins 22, but I decided to unravel it because this yarn is Drops Lima and it's like alpaca and wool, but it was a little bit too heavy, and I don't know, it wasn't standing how it was supposed to. It was like folding on itself because of its weight and the gravity. So yeah, Drops Lima in the off-white color. This was left over from my colorwork project, Marseille Sweater by the Petiteknit. Was left over, so I decided to knit this, and this is the original size, and it's kind of huge to be honest, but yeah, don't mind it. I cannot wait to wear it. It's on 3.5 millimeter needles. It's a DK. Yeah, I think this is all. Yeah, I'm really loving the card stitch at the moment for accessories, and also the I-cord edge. It's the first time I've knitted I-cord, and it's so easy that I'm shook for how nice it looks. Like, I hope that blocking would make this more even, but because of the waviness of the yarn, it's not the most even garter stitch you ever looked at, but yeah, I'm so excited for this one. Then, oh my god, I'm even more excited for the next whip. That is the with names. Oh my god. The olive cardigan v-neck. Yeah, it's the olive cardigan v-neck. Yeah, be ready. Oh my god. It's so nice. I'm so excited to finish it. Oh my god, like how big it is. You have to know that I started this cardigan on the 27th of December and I stopped knitting it like this on the 30th. Yeah, like this is 3 days worth of knitting and I'm shocked. Like, it's so addicting. But it's also like on pretty chunky needles, at least for me it's on 7 millimeter needles. Yeah, so I'm using a strand of this merino, yeah, finger weight superwash merino, that it doesn't feel like superwash at all when you're knitting it, but yeah, it's not scratchy at all. But I bought it in Norway. It's the same yarn that I used for my Marzipan Pullover, just in this blue color. And I'll put all the information below in the description if I'm not mentioning like a yarn brand or something, or the colorways, I'll read them below. But it is a Norwegian thing, so it has, yeah, I'll just write it down. Then I'm using, like, I'm pairing one strand of the merino with 2 strands of the kid silk mohair from Drops. And yeah, currently I don't have enough mohair for this, because originally this was going to be a sweater number 15. Like, this was meant to be so many projects. I'm not starting again with this conversation, but in the end, this is what it's becoming. But I think I need 3 more balls of mohair because it's all double. But yeah, it's probably a very expensive, for me, project. But the yarn is bought like in different stages, so it seems less expensive. So yeah, it's not the first time I'm knitting from charts. but it's my first time doing this type of texture, and I cannot wait to vlog it for it to all stretch out and be nice. Like, how huge it is! Like, it's just 3 days. What the heck? Okay, it's like the knitting for Olive. It's from Knitting for Olive. I don't think I said that. The pattern is from Knitting for Olive. They already had a olive cardigan, but it was like a crew neck with these really like dainty little buttonholes. It was super cute, but I wanted something more practical. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I'm a fan on myself of like round necks cardigan. This is a V-neck. It's all curling up on itself, but it's a V-neck, and it has a double knitted bottom band. That is something that I really wanted in this cardigan, so that's perfect. And I think the sleeves have short rows to shape the sleeve cups. And what else to say? Yeah, I have no idea which buttons I'm gonna choose. But oh my god, I'm so excited. I am so excited for this project. You have no idea. And this was my festive cast on. So I cannot wait to finish it and to wear it. Like, it's kind of weird, the feeling of the mohair in my hands, but I think, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. I'm not used to mohair. I've knitted as second strands with alpaca. Always in my Marzipan Pullover. And I'm really impressed with the pickup on the shoulders. It's really clever, because yeah, it just goes on with the pattern beautifully. Because as always, like, it's all knitted flat, of course, because it's a cardigan. It's different from like what I expected because you, like, in my head at least, you usually start off with the back and then you pick up for the front. This time you start with the 2 front panels and you pick up the sleeves. No, you pick up stitches on one shoulder, you cast on for the back, and you pick up again on the other shoulder. Okay, like, it was different from what I expected, but yeah, I really don't mind knitting flat textures, because usually you knit all the texture on the right side and you knit as stitches appear on the back side, so completely fine. And I'm so excited to finish it. Okay, on this cardigan, like, I don't want to give the pattern away, but here you do decreases and here you do increases. And I think it's normal. I see it on also on the, like, on the sample, or on the photo of the sample that Knitting for Olive did, but I'm kind of bothered that the rows on which you increase, that is every other row, it's, I don't know, the sleeves just, why do I say the sleeves? The stitches are just very tight, like so small. Like, this is so big because that's the gauge, and then there is a stitch here. I don't know if you can see. That's just so small, but I think it's just the nature of knitting, like, make one left and make one right. But it just bothers me. Not a lot in the look, but when I'm knitting it, it just looks weird and holy. But I know it's normal. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if it also happens to you, and if you think it's normal or it's just me. The door rang. Also, I've never experienced so much shedding in a yarn before, like, than with this mohair. Oh my god. Because I usually like my lounge, oh my god, my loungewear is black, and I don't, I'll try to show you. I'm in my sweatpants, but like I was just putting the cardigan on my lap to show you, and it's all covered in mohair already, and yeah, that's weird. I'm sorry for the crackling nose on the chair. Yeah, sorry if it bothers you, but it really can't do much. Sorry. Yeah, so as I said, no acquisitions today because they didn't come in time. But I have something else for you guys if you're interested. I have some knitting plans, like what I intend to do in the next months. So I think that just this January, February, how much it will take me, it's going to be a month of frogging. Yeah, because I did a cleanup of my wardrobe. That is this one right here, and like it's so much less cluttered, and I love it. As I said, it's gonna be a frogging month. Yeah, a raveling month. I already started with a project that I already started with a project that I was working on this summer. That was kind of it was the Stirred Up top by Wool and the Gang. It was a free pattern for this kind of really holy. I was using like some drops cotton and drops Paris, and I just unraveled it because it's knitted in panel, and I knitted the front panel, but it was just looking so huge. Like I wanted it to be huge, but that was too huge, you know, when you ask yourself how huge is too huge. That was too huge. It was also so long. It was, yes, not going well, and I decided just to unravel it just to make another top out of that yarn. Then I talked about this in my previous episode, in the first episode, the step-by-step sweater by Florence, handmade by Florence. I'm unraveling it because of the yarn. That is Drops Alaska, and it's just too scratchy on my neck. It's 100% wool, so yeah, it's definitely wool that makes sweater itch. And also it has short rows on the back of the neck to raise the neck. But yeah, it was my first time doing short rows on a garment. Yeah, no, they look just too wonky, so I'm unraveling this, and I think I'll do a shin pin cardigan, even though I will have to order more yarn because I don't have enough, nearly, because it's it's not an Aran weight. Yeah, it's kind of a worsted Aran weight yarn, knitted on 5.5mm needles, but yeah, it doesn't have a lot of meterage in each ball. It's like 75 meters per 50 grams, I believe. So yeah, it's not gonna be enough. Then the next one I want to unravel is a commercial sweater that is like probably it's probably 50%. Let me check. Yeah, it just has 10% of wool in it, and the rest is viscose and acrylic, but it's just a sweater from when I was young, and it looks very huge and long because I used to wear these things in the winter because I was very cold. But I don't know, my heart aches throwing it away, and I think I want to reuse this yarn for something. if not another sweater, maybe something else, but I think it would be nice because this was my favorite sweater. Just to have it with me again, to give it a new life. So that, then another commercial sweater, that is this one, that actually looks really nice, but now that I'm a knitter, it kind of bothers me, the fact that because it's 50% cotton and 50% acrylic, it bothers me that they're using cotton for a cable sweater, and the cables are just so flat and not, like, they're so flat and not bouncy at all. I mean, it's nice, but whatever, I think. And the yarn, although there is acrylic in it, I like the fabric it makes. It's really, really drapey. So I think I might use this yarn because I desperately need a white sweater. The attempt with this one as my white sweater went not great. So I'm relying on this just to be a simple raglan with short rows, something kind of like the no frill sweater. I don't know if that one or another pattern, but yeah, I think I would enjoy that, to be honest. Something just to throw on without thinking, that it's not just pure wool, but it has the acrylic in it, which is, it makes you warmer than just 100% cotton. I don't know, inspired by that. Then the last thing that I want to unravel, this time to reknit it. Oh my god, it's my first garment ever that it's actually crocheted. I'm still in love with this. It's nice, but kind of wonky in some parts, and it's knitted with this, like, I don't know if you know this type of yarn, but it has the core and then all the fluffs just put like this. Of course, it's synthetic fiber, but yeah, I don't know, crochet is just too thick for this kind of thing and for the weather here in Italy. Like, it's so warm, this thing, that I can never manage to wear it. And it's also so thick in the sleeves that it doesn't fit in any of my jackets. Yeah, so I love it, but at the same time I think I can do better, and I think that something knitted like this, I could get much more wear out of it. Yeah, I'll just try it on so you can see, because before this baby gets destroyed. And it's of course inspired by the whole color block trend that was on in 2020, I think, in 2020. And I love these buttons, they're very cute. And yeah, kind of inspired by Hope Macaulay's things. And also there is the ribbing that is crocheted, and it's not scratchy, it's not stretchy as I want it to be. So okay, well, sorry for the t-shirt, but it's this, it's cropped, it's, oh my god, how do I show you? What do you see? It's gathering in the ribbing, but then the buttonholes are kind of wonky, It's very oversized, drop shoulders. But yeah, I just think I can do better now. That's why I'm unraveling it. And also, there are all these ends sticking out because I'm not able to weave in ends with crochet. That I don't know how to do that. And also, I have just one darning needle that this thick of a yarn can fit through. So yeah, it's difficult to weave in ends with crochet even more than with knitting. So yeah, that one is going to be frogged. Damn. Okay, we finished with the knitting. I just wanted to show you my guitar, but if you were here just for the knitting, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know as always in the comments if you're working on something. What are you working on while watching the podcast, because I'm always very inspired. And yeah, these are where you can find me: Instagram, Ravelry. Yeah, because I just uploaded my Ravelry projects because I didn't have any, but now it's all there. And yeah, thank you so much. Bye. If you're here for the guitar, let me show you. There it is. Oh my god, it's so heavy. It's a Gibson. Oh my god, it's so heavy. And here is the baby. Yeah, how cool it. No, it's all like glossy, so there are my fingerprints on it. But yeah, of course I have the amplifier right here. But yeah, I'm very excited to learn so much more about like how to play the electric guitar, because I played some pieces on my acoustic guitar, but it was just so harsh on my hands. Yeah, and some pieces didn't even work, so but yeah, very excited. This thing is so heavy too, but just a really beautiful guitar. This was my father's and he gifted it to me this Christmas. So, we excited? Yes. How much? A lot. Huh. And yeah, if you made it through here, thank you so much for watching again. I hope I'll see you again in my next episode and in the Everything I Needed in 2022 video, which I'm recording soon, very, very soon. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.